Welcome to day 33 of the Daily Laws by Robert Greene. The quote of the day is coming up next. All right, the quote today is, what does the master need, right? So what Robert's talking about today is the relationship between a master and an apprentice. And he's talking about how a master or mentor has a lot to offer to someone who wants to learn the skills that they already have. But also, too, you need to go into this relationship with what you can also offer the mentor, right? So the example that Robert Greene used was, and if you know Robert Greene, you read his books and you know a little bit about him, you know that Ryan Holiday was an apprentice of his, right? And that Robert Greene was a mentor to Ryan Holiday. So he talked about the relationship between him and Ryan Holiday in today's section. One of the things that he mentioned is that, basically he taught Ryan Holiday how to be a good writer. He also taught him how to write a book from soup to nuts, basically from start to finish. And he also mentioned that he had really had a lot of trouble prior to Ryan having apprentices or research helpers because they just didn't understand him. They didn't understand his style. They didn't understand how he wrote books. They didn't understand what he was all about. What he liked about Ryan was Ryan had read all of his books prior, had read all the books that he had cited in his books. He had kind of reverse engineered how Robert wrote his books. And so Ryan knew what he was looking for, knew the types of stories that would interest Robert, knew kind of the things to look for to help him write his books. So he gave Robert the advantage of time, right? Being able to help Robert write books quicker because two of them were researching the books instead of just Robert researching them himself, right? Also, too, like I said, Robert was his mentor, so Robert taught him how to write a book from start to finish. Also, too, in return, besides just giving Robert a quicker turnaround time on writing books, Robert was also having a problem with his internet presence at the time, right? And so he was in his late 40s, really didn't have a website at the time, and was just kind of floundering in that space. But Ryan Holiday, that was another thing that he brought to the table. He was able to help Robert Greene set up his website and get his internet presence known. So it's another thing that Ryan brought to the table for Robert, was the ability to help him do that. So in the master-apprentice relationship, remember as you go forward, or master or a mentor-apprentice relationship, whichever you want to call it, remember that while the mentor will bring a lot of things to you and help you speed up your growth and be able to achieve your goals and passions and calling quicker, remember also too what you can bring to them to make their life easier. And I think that's what today was all about. All right? Make it a beneficial relationship for both of you. That is the key. Until tomorrow.